Hi everybody, welcome back to Brelsford Family Homestead, to my kitchen. I'm Darcy. Today I am going to be making some cranberry sauce and canning it, and also be canning some fresh pineapple. Both of those things can sometimes be found at discounted prices this time of year or after Thanksgiving and Christmas. I picked up the pineapple the other day for like $1.27 each at my local Kroger. There was a limit of 5, so I'm not gonna be doing a lot, but it's something, and my family really enjoys it in some of our dishes. The cranberries, well, I found them in my freezer. I thought I had gone through and canned all of them except for maybe one bag. There's more than one bag. So I have made a video about canning cranberry juice before. I'll link it up here, but I'm going to make cranberry sauce. I've never made it before. I don't do the Jellied canned stuff. So Thanksgiving is in 2 days. So I'm going to go ahead and make some and can it. I'm going to double the batch. I am using the recipe from the National Center for Home Food Preservation. I will link that below. It calls for 4 cups of cranberries, 1 cup of water, and 2 cups of sugar. And I am going to double that, which uses almost all of one of the big 2-pound bags. Last year, a friend and I, we went a little crazy on the cranberries, and the 2-pound bags, I want to say, might have been $1. But we paid like 25 cents each for a lot of different bags of cranberries. So it was a great buy for us. Lots of cranberry juice, and now hopefully cranberry sauce that we'll love. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the water and the cranberries boiling in a stainless steel saucepan and let that boil. I am gonna use the mash option. There's a couple different variations for this recipe, and I am going to just mash the berries. I'm not gonna put them through a sieve or a food mill. So I'll put these in and bring you over so you can see what it looks like. All right, we're going to get our cranberries in here. Water. And then we're going to cook these until they're soft. I'm not sure exactly how long that will take, but once they're soft, I'll bring you back and we will mash them with a potato masher, then add the sugar and cook for 3 minutes before putting in jars to can. These got softer much faster than I thought they would, so they're starting to burst and things, so I'm going to take it off of the heat so it doesn't splatter me, and then I'm going to get my potato masher and start mashing these up. I think this consistency looks good. There's still maybe a couple little full berries there. We're going to add the sugar. We're going to return this to the heat, bring it to a boil, and boil it for 3 minutes. Now I did add a half a teaspoon per recipe of butter to it to reduce foaming. I've never done that with anything that I've canned for jellies and stuff before, so it'll be interesting to see how that affects it. So just gonna keep stirring this and bring it to a boil for 3 minutes, and then we'll get it canned up. Okay, let's get canning. I am going to do some pints. It calls for half pints or pints, and they both process for the same amount of time. So to start for Thanksgiving, and just open one, I'm going to do a couple pints. It says to fill to a 1/2 inch head space. This is a hot jar. It was inside the canner with hot water. Some more. Use my little spoon here to get a bit more till we get to that 1/2 inch, and then we will debubble it and check the headspace again. Okay. This is, you always need to clean the rim and before canning, but when you have sticky stuff like this, you got to definitely be extra careful, or greasy things. Fingertip tight. I'm gonna put that in the canner and I'll go ahead and do the rest of them. We will end up making a big old mess. Not only will it be sticky and syrupy, but it's red and it's gonna stain. It's okay. Can already tell that this is going to gel up really nicely to have that jellied cranberry sauce. My canner is boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and set a timer for 15 minutes. It's the same time for pints and half pints. So there was a little bit left in the pot, so I tasted it. Do I have any on me? And it was really good. I had a thought and I didn't want to forget to address it. Yes, this is a pressure canner, but I'm using it for a hot bath canner. I do it a lot because it's a tall one. You can actually double stack pints in here, but I have the gasket removed from the lid, so it's not sealed tight, and so I'm not using it as a pressure canner, just as a water bath canner. I don't have to worry about the water bubbling over or spilling out. Like those black enameled canners, I have them, but if you put a quart in there, it seems like to have it at a boil the whole time, it makes a mess. It gets water everywhere. So anyway, that's what I do. While I'm waiting on the canner of cranberry sauce, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting up my pineapple. I may do some in rings. I like to make a spicy Hawaiian chicken burger with pineapple, grilled pineapple rings, but we'll have to see depending on how much I have. But we need to peel these, cut them up, and we will have to put them in a hot, light syrup and then put them in the can. So I'll show you that process. But I thought I'd show you how I cut these up. Come up a little bit. This one's actually a little skinnier up at the top than they often are. I will still cut that up and eat it. But this little tool, it cost me, I want to say it was about $5 on Amazon. I'll look it up and link it below. But it just makes it really easy to get the pineapple out. You could just cut off the rind, but it doesn't really save much fruit to do it that way. Sometimes there is a bit of suction. You have to pull kind of hard. Now this one is a little riper, so I'm going to have to cut some of that brown off. I'll save this juice that's in there too. But then you just push this. It gets a little harder to do as your hands get dirty. And then you just come right off of there. See? And so I will cut off the darker spots like that. And then we'll just cut them in, your typical size pieces. I'll get them in a bowl here and eat some. I'll get these all cut up and show you when I'm done. The timer finished. I took off the lid and turned off the heat and let it sit for 5 minutes, and it is now time to remove them from the canner. I will let them sit on the counter on a towel or cutting board for 12 to 24 hours before I remove the rings, check the seal, and then wash them and label them. Isn't it pretty? I got all of the pineapple cut up. I decided to do all chunks. I need to put it in the hot light syrup 1 layer at a time for 1 minute, and then pack them in hot jars, cover it with some of the hot syrup, and then we will can them. The 1/2 inch headspace, we'll can them for 15 minutes for pint size. If you hear some noises in the background, unfortunately someone hit a deer outside, so there's some cars and police, and plus my dogs aren't really happy that there's a bunch of things going on. But I did go down and check, and everyone is okay, minus the deer. So we're going with here. I mixed up the batch of light syrup. Says 1 layer, didn't really specify, so I'm guessing as long as it's covered in the syrup, it's enough. This is pretty deep here, so I may be able to get all of this in, which would be fine. Let me just do this amount, and then I'll take it over, put it in the jars, and do the rest. I'm going to set up everything right here at the stove. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. Scoot that up maybe a little bit. Using a slotted spoon to put this in the jar to where I think it's, a 1/2 inch or so headspace. Use my skewer there to get the air bubbles out. Get these to lay down here so I can get them under the juice, and also correctly check the headspace, which it is correct. I've got my vinegar dampened cloth. Tight right here into the canner. And keep going. All right, we got 7 pints in the canner. I'm going to put the lid on and crank the heat up and get it up to a rolling boil and set the timer. The pineapple's done too. I processed it for 15 minutes and then let it go for another 5 with the heat and the lid off. I'm going to set them down over with the cranberry sauce. I thought I would show you everything that's done. I did get 7 pints of pineapple. I did have to throw away almost half of one of those pineapples. There was just too much brown, but they sure look pretty. Thanks for coming along as I canned the cranberry sauce and the pineapples. I will say that pineapple is not as sweet as some other fresh pineapple. Certainly not if you've lived in a tropical country, which I have, way better. But if you can get a hold of the ones that say like Select Gold, those are definitely sweeter. They're still good. And home canned pineapple is still so much better than anything I've ever had in the store. Most of those are tasteless and disgusting. But keep an eye out for sales for this time of year, and throughout the winter that sometimes there's sales on pineapple, but for sure cranberries after Thanksgiving or after Christmas, you should be able to pick those up fairly inexpensively to make juice, to make cranberry sauce or whatever. So thanks for coming along. Let me know if you try either one of these and how you like it. I appreciate you watching and following along on this journey. This is going to come out probably right after Thanksgiving. It's in 2 days. So I just want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I hope it was a wonderful day filled with the people that you love. God bless.